There's only one place to be after the hunt. The Skinning Shed with Fuel Outdoor Gear.
Presented by Mathews Archery and Grizzly Coolers.
All right, we are back in the Skinning Shed.
What is this?
Nick's checking the mail. Fan mail.
I mean, let's clean this place up a little bit.
I did clean it up.
We
Look
got
at
guests.
It looks amazing.
It does look good.
Yeah.
Good job.
So we actually have some guests today.
And you should have cleaned up a little bit for these guys.
I apologize, guys. I mean, let me set this over here.
There you go.
Sorry.
All right, all is good.
So we have our friends from ElimiShield and Bryson Brothers Ariel Solutions.
You got it right.
That
Got it.
I'm glad you had to do it.
It took me a while. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I've called it a lot of things, and none of it was correct. So
Well, you nailed it.
Do you do like an acronym? BB?
BBAS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
It's a lot easier with emails.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I can't spell.
Well, thanks for coming, guys.
yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for having us.
So basically today we're going to talk about two different companies, but all in one company. So Tommy, you're the owner of ElimiShield and Bryson Brothers, correct?
One of
the others.
It's my brother and I. So we started it in 2001 on September the 11th, 2001.
Really? That is awesome.
That's the day we were incorporated.
That's amazing. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
It is. And y'all built something huge.
We started literally in the kitchen sink.
That's amazing.
Literally.
So
I know.
Literally.
it's okay. It's okay. So
He's in on the game. I like it.
Obviously, that was going to happen.
obviously.
Yeah, so we'll fill everybody
Anytime somebody says literally, you have to take a drink.
We know.
Yeah,
they
he
know.
knows.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
Tommy has another word, obviously.
Yes.
And literally, those two
We
words.
just added it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been scolded for using obviously too much.
That's awesome.
So there's actually one other company we just didn't mention, and it's CitraSafe.
Well,
Which-
CitraSafe is one of our brands. Well, to give you a little backstory, my brother and I, back before that, my dad and I started a gas and patio business in Greensboro in 1989, 2 years after I graduated from high school. That's where everything, the birth of CitraSafe was birthed from my dad's company. We sold grills and gas logs and patio furniture and at the retail level. Started in a little shop, not much bigger than this room. In 89, we grew that to 3 locations in Greensboro, Durham, and Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Wow.
And CitraSafe was something, originally it was just something we wanted to create for selling at my dad's shop, for cleaning grills, just for our customers. Our uncle worked for Simonize Car Wash Chemicals, and we asked him one day, did he have a safe degreaser that would be best for grills rather than people that were using oven cleaners. And as I said, our originally ambition was just to have something to sell to our customers at Dad's store. And now we're in 12,000 locations in the U.S. With CitraSafe.
I've used
So that's
it.
how it started.
I've used that.
Yeah.
I like it.
Likewise. It's good stuff. Yeah.
And
It
then,
took
like I
me a
said,
second when you were saying citrus. I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah. We like I said, it wasn't really a
You didn't set out to do all that.
No, it was something we just wanted to have to sell our customers. Our uncle helped us with the formulation. We bought, and of course this is before online, procurement, but we were able to find a local company that made bottles. We found another company that sold triggers and printed labels on a very old computer, so you could see what it was. But so yeah, we would go to his house, lay out the bottles on his dining room table, put the concentrate in the bottle, fill it in his kitchen sink with the water we needed, put the triggers on it, hand stick the little labels on the bottles, and take it to Dad's store and sell them.
That is so.
That's cool.
To me, that's so awesome because you hear all these stories of entrepreneurs and all this stuff and how they got started, and your story is exactly the same as the rest of the successful businesses.
Yeah.
It's a great American dream.
It is. I mean, that's unbelievable.
And what he's not telling you is he starts you at the beginning and then you get to the end is it doesn't happen overnight.
Right. Oh, God.
All of this, the struggle and the, how are we going to do this?
Yep.
But always reinvesting in the company, always having the belief, always, you fall down once, you pick yourself up, you get 9 no's, you take the yes. Like that's what he won't tell you. I sing that praise all the time because standing back watching it from afar, like to me, it really is the great American dream.
Oh, it is 100%.
Well, and there's a very small percentage of people, one, that try it, and then 2, stay with it.
Well,
because
everybody
it's
has
hard.
an idea.
Sure.
Everybody has an idea. It's
I got plenty of those.
It's the ones that
Didn't see through
implement
none of them.
and have the stamina that is successful. And that's we've gotten our teeth kicked in. We've been bankrupt, practically. Never filed, but we should have. But yeah, I mean it's been a journey. I'll tell you the thing that there's nothing that pisses me off more is for somebody to say it must be nice.
Yeah.
I just soon throat punch them.
I know. I'm with you. I'm with you. Or
I
they say, you're
cannot
killing
stand-
it, man. I saw you on you are killing it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right. No,
you have no idea.
you have no clue.
You have no
You
idea.
have no idea what I've been through.
Well, that's kind of like what I've told my kids because I'm a product of it, I guess, because I didn't follow through on what you and Jason and Nick have embarked on. But I tell my kids, I said, hindsight's 20/20, and I have a lot of what ifs. Don't have any what ifs. If you want to do it,
Right,
do
you're
it.
going to fail, and if you don't fail, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah.
You learn so much more from the failures than you do the successes
Absolutely.
all day.
Yeah.
I could go on for days. We don't have enough time on this podcast to talk about
Yep.
what we've been through, but now, finally, in the past about 10 years, we've got some traction and made something special. We do a lot more than just CitraSafe
Oh, yeah.
and the ElimiShield Hunt, and we have a clinical division, we have the drone division, we have a wholesale division, a retail division. We have diversified ourselves to where if something fails, we pretty much got a good parachute in another part of the business. So, and it's, we can sit here and try to take all the credit, but it's my brother and I will tell you before anything else, it's the people we've surrounded ourselves with.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That we're not smart enough to do this, but we've hired, smarter people than us.
Yeah.
That
I got to figure that one out. I ain't hired nobody.
This guy.
if you're not the dumbest one in the room, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm the dumbest one in the room. So I mean,
well, hang on a minute.
most people will tell you that. So, like for me, the smartest person is the one that sits in this office back here that don't even work here. Like, if it wasn't for her, I mean,
Agreed.
That's
Yeah,
100%.
see, that's what I appreciate about this place and places like yours is this is how we were born.
oh yeah,
We were born in a little retail shop, selling a different product and servicing a different industry, but it's the same mom and pop shop.
yep.
So we have a
Same
soft
beginnings.
place. We have a soft spot in our heart for mom and pop shops.
Yeah,
And while we do have products, quite a few products in big box it's on our terms. And we never sell to Walmart cheaper than we would sell to Jason.
Right.
And we made that commitment back when we were in our dad's shop. My dad's shop ended up closing all the stores, and it was a product of NAFTA. He never really recovered from NAFTA with the products that we were selling. We sold high-end grills, gas logs, fireplaces, patio furniture. And when Lowe's and the Walmarts of the world started getting something that looked similar to what we sold, wasn't the same quality, but it looked very similar, that hurt us.
Yeah.
And it hurt us bad. And that's what led us into this business, was having to find something to pay the bills, because we started losing market share. And, our path was directed, and here we are.
Yeah.
So.
And it's amazing how successful you can be when you have a group of people that don't care about who gets credit for anything.
That's exactly right.
And that's one of the great things
philosophy.
about, I've been with them since 2010, 2011, something like that. And, it's interesting to me to just watch the company dynamic when there's a new product or a new something that we're kind of kicking around. And there's some guys that'll be like, no idea. Like, this is not, but they'll be like, but you know what? That's the guy right there.
Right.
And then everybody just goes in and supports him. And amazing things happen when you have leaders instead of managers, because you have to lead a team. You cannot manage a team. You can manage your books, you can manage inventory, you can manage a lot of things, but you can't manage people. You have to lead them.
Yeah.
And when the two boss men say, I have no idea, but I have 100% confidence that you can get this off the ground and going.
Well, he's the
resources
one
do
that
you
brought
need?
the drone division to us. That's not something that we did. He just stumbled on it by accident, and then worked with David Deal, our pilot that retired from the Highway Patrol, that started their drone program. And he was pretty much looking for something to do. And I've never met anybody that chases an idea more than Philip does. And we just have the resources to fund it. So that's how the drone business, or the drone division, was created. It was all his idea.
That's awesome. It
Yeah, that
really
is great.
I mean,
And you make great points that about, leading people and nobody interested in the credit, because it's, if we're a team,
That's right.
we only have one goal. It doesn't matter how we get there.
Exactly right.
And
The unfortunate thing is we live amongst people in society that do not understand servitude, like whether it be on a small scale or a large scale. It's a very selfish society. So when you can get around people that are like, hey, what can I do to empower you so that we can be better?
Yeah.
Man, you got to gravitate to
special.
those people, man. You have got to gravitate to those people. And as an owner, or the people that write the checks, you find somebody like that comes through the door and their word is good, and they believe in supporting everybody and putting everybody before themselves.
Yeah.
Man, you got to grab hold of that fella or lady, because if not, somebody else is going to.
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to find.
It is.
No
Like
question.
I know that I need to hire more people, but I struggle with it horribly, because I can't find somebody like that.
Well, that, and you've gotten successful kind of by doing this,
Well,
and
I mean,
it's hard to kind of let that go, but that's where you're.
Well, and you're in a different position too. I've talked to so many. Obviously, like I said, we were born from a shop similar to this, and theft was our biggest problem with employees. And you never knew who you could trust. I mean, whether it be inventory or cash, So that, I understand your dilemma as much as anybody. We're in a unique situation that we're in manufacturing. So, while we're pretty loose on people taking on the cleaners that they need to use or whatever, there's not very much to steal but we have created a culture where they love being there so much that they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, they don't want to jeopardize
They
it.
don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
to
they probably
jeopardize
feel comfortable coming to you and going, hey, do you mind if I...
You mind if I? Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And I could not be more proud of the staff that we've put together over there. We've got 26 full-time employees. Wow. a lot of contract work. Sometimes on the busy season we'll do temporaries and stuff like that. But our core team is 26, and every one of them will tell you, I'm not going to do anything to mess this up
Right.
because we run such a loose ship. Like he said, we don't manage them. We lead them and we empower them and encourage them, to what do you want to do next? You want to grow?
You guys hiring?
Can't afford you.
I mean, that's the company that you should want to work for.
Yeah, 100%.
And somebody, and I may be speaking out of turn, but if somebody that's been there for like a year, and let's say they work back in the warehouse, and they're like, "Hey, I'd really like to learn about marketing. Can you include me in some marketing stuff?" Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to make the company stronger.
Right.
I mean, why not foster that and
Sure.
have a little bit of.
And even if it doesn't, even if they learn and then leave, hey, we're your biggest cheerleader, man. Go succeed.
Well, I've also found when you promote from within, from somebody that's been starting, whether it's in the warehouse or wherever, and they've worked their way up, they have a lot of pride in what they do, and they know it, so they've learned it from the ground up. And then when they get into that position, whether it be marketing or sales, they know it like the back of their hand.
Yeah, and you can hire from the outside,
Yeah.
but they didn't start it. They don't know this.
They don't know the
company.
product.
It's a culture, and it's hard to bring somebody in from outside in a position of leadership that hasn't been plugged into our culture. And we've had some come and go because they come from a corporate structure, and we're just not like that. We're like, come in when you want to, leave when you want to, take time if y'all
Here's your
need
job.
to.
Right. Get it done.
Here's the
Right.
metric.
And
The
then-
metric is we don't miss shipments. We keep a 100% scorecard with our customers where we ship on time every time. And that's pretty much it. There better not be a shipment missed, and a customer better not be without their inventory on the day that we told them we're going to ship it. And the rest of it's easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
not
I mean,
complicated.
it's easier said than done, because there's a lot to make that happen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, through the COVID years when ships were sitting out on the at the ports with truckloads of our product, we had the foresight to put a year's worth of inventory in the building, and we didn't miss a single shipment through COVID because
That
we
is
didn't. Not even. I mean, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Target. Nobody went without their purchase order, even when their sales were up 30-40%. But that's just our culture.
Yeah.
Is not going to take a lot of money home yet. If I've got to spend $1 million to put triggers in inventory, that's what we're going to do.
Yep.
And that's what we did.
And there have been nights where, like, big orders would come through, and it's all hands on deck, and you're there all night.
Me included.
Before
You included.
before some of the automation, where everybody's there filling bottles, putting labels on, getting the boxes correctly. Somebody double checks it, seals it. The hunt just to make sure that you get it out and get it on time because you said you would.
But on Friday they go home at 12 and
yeah,
have a good weekend.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's
I mean,
great.
it really truly is.
So in the ElimiShield, the product, just briefly talked up. Most people I think know what that is, but for those
Well,
that don't, it's-
it was by accident really. And see, maybe a little embarrassed to admit, I've only been hunting for 11 years. 56.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah. My original passions in life outside of work and building companies, I should say, was racing. Anything racing.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of big around here.
growing up, I raced, or I shouldn't say growing up, out of, at 18 and 19, I started racing motorcycles and, got pretty heavy into that. So, got hurt pretty bad, did all the, went through all the rehabs and all the things that I needed to do there. But that was my passion. So hunting was not really on my radar, so I just didn't do it. It wasn't until my mid-30s that I'd quit racing. I was looking for something to do, man. I'm always been one that I need outlets and I need hobbies. And a friend of mine got me into, or took me deer hunting, and went with him a few times. And one day, he and his son was about 7 years old. We get up, we're going out for an afternoon hunt, and he said, "Hold on, let me give you some of this stuff." And he started spraying me down with this product. And this was very early. This was let's see, Citrus Safe was,
It was 09, 09 or 10.
yeah.
09 or 10.
Yep. So Citrus Safe is a product that somebody can buy, and it'll take them a year to go through it. Just for grilling. So you don't use a whole lot of it at one time. Well, he used a whole bottle between me, him, another guy, and his son. He went through a bottle, emptied it, and the light bulb went off. I was like,
What you got there,
what's
buddy?
that? So anyway, that's the seed. And at the time, we were about 3 years into a contract with Weber Grills. We made all of Weber grill cleaners that was sold everywhere. You go in and you see Citrus Safe and Weber products sitting next to each other, and they were apparent competitors, but they weren't. We made them all. And I realized then that, it was a lot easier to license a brand than it was to try to build a brand. So over that next year, we utilized some of the technologies that we'd already been working on in the healthcare industry, and created a line of products and signed a contract with Remington. So when we first launched the scent control line was under the Remington brand, licensed as a licensing
I think I remember
agreement.
that.
Yeah, licensing agreement. And that's when Philip came on board with us. Philip and I met at the racetrack with our Citrus Safe racing stuff that we do with modified racing. And he wanted to be involved. So I said, well, let's do this. Turned out to be the worst decision we ever made, because shortly after that, Remington is when they really upset the entire dealer network with their new ownership. And we learned that matter of fact, we launched the product in January, and we were at SHOT Show.
Yeah.
In March.
No, we launched it at I think ATA, and then we followed that up because SHOT's always like a week, 2 weeks later.
Right.
And we got out there, and we were the only licensee that was actually in the Remington Arms booth.
Correct.
And we launched, and soon after that, as a follow-up, I started doing calls to buyers.
Well, we got cussed out at the SHOT Show constantly.
Yeah.
We were like, what is this all about?
Because they thought you were a part of Remington.
Well, we were. We were in the Remington booth. It looked like we were Remington.
But Remington had gone to a lot of the retailers and said, we're no longer going to concentrate on you guys. We're going to concentrate on the box stores. Mm-hmm. And that didn't sit well. Yeah. But we didn't know that.
We had no clue.
So we're out here, hawking and, shucking and jiving and everything. and people are giving me the stink eye and, tell me, you son of a kiss my ass, And I get back and start cold calling, trying to, get some store placement. And finally this guy in, the middle of Michigan, he's like, you're not actually with Remington, are you? I was like, no, we're a licensee. And he's like, let me just do you a favor and explain this to you. And he started at the beginning and went all the way through it. And as he did, I was just like, I really don't have the conversation with Tommy. I really don't. And it was, was it a bad decision looking back? Yes. But did we learn a whole lot about the industry that is valuable to us now? Absolutely. Now, with that being said, if you need any olive green bottles.
You still got plenty of them.
Remington green. They're Remington green.
Remington green, yeah, special
I've
bottle.
got
You still got them.
truckload.
Oh, wow.
Truckloads.
Wow.
Yeah, but
That
yeah,
was a big mistake.
yeah, but you know,
But see, what we learned through the Weber licensing agreement was how quickly that licensing a brand would go to market quicker and more successful than launching a new brand.
But it can also
But it also
tank
it
overnight.
did.
and-
It
well,
did.
as soon as a leadership, group changes, you can have one leadership group that believes X, and then I think they followed up with their next leadership group was brought in from like Frigidaire or Maytag, and so with appliances, they make their money off the big box stores, right?
Yeah.
So that was their business model, and they felt like they could take the Remington brand and do the same thing. And Remington is the second most recognizable brand, second only to Nike in the world.
Wow.
So when you talk about having some horsepower, and that's what we thought we had. We thought
yeah,
we
we were
had
celebrating.
the full.
We signed that
Remington-
contract and we celebrated.
Yeah.
Like we thought we had the whole Remington machine behind us.
Understandably.
Store shelf space, advertising, marketing, pro staff, and it just didn't work out that way. I mean,
Well, that was a mom and pop, right? Originally, like it's
Well,
that old.
Remington was born in 1890 something.
So
I
it had to
think.
be. I mean, it had to be
Well, yeah, they built
some
their.
guy that went,
It was,
and
but but that had long been forgotten.
Oh, sure.
True.
But originally, and I think that's one
yeah.
reason why, if you shoot or you hunt, the Remington name is a household name.
Oh, right, it is.
Even for those that don't.
yeah,
It is.
yeah, and they, my personal view of Remington is kind of like it's your grandfather's gun.
Right.
I just feel like they haven't done a good job moving forward with the next generation. But you know what? I mean, if it works, it works.
Right.
A lot of people like that. I want to have the same rifle that my grandfather hunted with. I want an 870.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying
I
it's
have
wrong.
it. I'm ready for a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were growing pains, but we learned a lot and we met a lot
We
of
had
people.
we had a 3-year deal with them. We honored our 3 years, but it wasn't very successful. And
But
I
see,
was
that
ready
that
to-
goes back to you and your mentality and everything else. Because
a smarter person would have just quit because what I learned during that 3 years, even though we pushed the ball uphill, for 3 years, what I learned is how hard it was going to be to change a hunter's mind. Even forget about the dealers for a minute. The consumer didn't know all that with Remington.
Right,
They
right.
still followed Remington if that's what they wanted, if that's the ammo they wanted, or Remington's. They didn't care about the politics of the business side of it. What hurt us was just getting placement in shots. But the consumer, we felt like that we would still have an opportunity to change a consumer's mind. And we quickly learned that a hunter's mind is the hardest mind to change. You cannot penetrate a hunter's mind and make him believe that something is better than the other. If they've been successful with some of the other brands,
What are you looking at me for?
it's hard.
I mean,
it's the hardest thing I've ever done in business, and I've done a lot.
when you're in the category
you.
of scent control, because
Exactly.
there is so much snake oil and
Yeah.
misleading marketing.
Well,
and
it's
a lot of other
become
stuff out there.
fairly saturated too.
Yeah,
like,
it's oversaturated.
It's more saturated than broadheads.
Yeah.
Got to be.
yeah.
We got word not too long ago that Bass Pro Shops had wanted to cut 3 categories in half. Scent control, trail cameras, and broadheads. And if you think about it, really, those are the most saturated there are. I mean, you go to an ATA show and there's always a new one. They're here today, gone tomorrow.
Yep.
Right.
And it's the survival of the fittest. And to Tommy's point, the way our technology works, we had to change everybody's mind that either said, "Oh, that doesn't work," or, "Well, I've had good luck with what I've been using."
Yep.
And then you start to talk to them about it. You're like, "Well, how does that work?" Well, I don't know. Like right before I walk in, I just spray it all over myself and I walk in. And it's like I tell people, think about that.
They don't understand the actual concept.
Right. They see it on TV, And so that's just how they do it. And one of the it's not a problem, but one of the issues that we faced is because we are actually technology based, having to teach the end user how we are different and how to use it. And we've tried a lot of different things, all of which are factual. But at the end of the day, I just tell people that core body foam, invest in it. You don't like it, I'll return your money. I want you to take a shower. I want you to get out of the shower. I want you to put that core body foam on your feet, on your Christmas, and your armpits. I want you to go out and I want you to hustle. I want you to do whatever it is you're going to do.
Here's what's funny. So the first time when y'all came to the old shop, and you said, do you want to bring this stuff in? Because your brother actually came in on lunch one day.
So my brother came in and actually bought arrows for me for my birthday.
Yep.
That's where it started.
Yep.
In your old shop.
And he said, have you ever heard of ElimiShield? And I was like, absolutely. He said, well, me and my brother own that company. He said, do you mind if I tell my brother to come out? I was like, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And then you and Philip came by and were talking to me about it, and you brought the display in, I believe. And Philip had said at that time, he said, if you truly want to see if it works, he said, take the core body foam, don't put on deodorant, and put it on your underarms. He said, wear it all day and come back and tell me if you stink. Mm-hmm. And I ain't going to lie to you. Like, I stink. Like, if I don't put deodorant on.
I can smell him right now.
No, you cannot. He's wearing a ElimiShield.
That's right.
So
it can't be funny.
So I was like, I'm going to do it. Like, 100% I'm going to do it.
It's the greatest scratch and sniff.
It is unreal.
It totally worked. I did it because I don't never used anything until this ElimiShield. Like, I just didn't. And, he's like, well, try this stuff out. And I put that core body foam on, sweated my nuts off all day. Got back home, took a nap. I was like, I'll be done.
I mean, I didn't believe it so much that I told Jennifer, and Jennifer was like, oh, my God, you're so stupid. I was like, smell my underarm.
It really works.
She was like, I'm not smelling you. I said, Jennifer, smell my underarm. I did not stink. And I was like, I cannot believe this. Mm-hmm. And that made me 100% a true believer.
Right. And the reason we call it core, honestly, is because it is the core and nucleus of the whole line. That's the purpose of calling it core, is because that's what's different than anything else out there. It literally creates a shield.
Thank you. I was waiting.
Oh, sorry.
Obviously.
Oh, okay.
Is that drinking on that one too?
I'm emptier. I drink with you.
Got you.
I'll look at you.
But it creates a shield on the skin that prevents odor from being able to survive on your skin. And as simple as that. So it's the purpose of calling it core is because it is the nucleus of the entire program. The spray and the detergent and the body wash are all support products for the core, because you need clean skin for it to adhere to. You need clean clothes for the spray to adhere to, which the spray has, in addition to the core ingredient of the program, it's got an enzyme in it too to help with other odors. So you still need clean surface for the spray to adhere to, the clean skin for the core to adhere to, and then the extend. Call that extend, X10D, because it's 10 ounces, treats 10 pounds in 10 minutes in 110-degree water. That's where the name extend comes from.
So I do have a question about the extend. So you guys also are partnered with Hunter Safety System, correct? And so on all the new Hunter Safety System, it all says ElimiShield on it. And people sometimes, I don't think, understand exactly why it says.
Well, we literally.
I mean,
we're catching up now.
Might call an Uber.
Yeah.
We got you.
Right there.
Taxi.
We ship the extend to their manufacturing facility, and they treat the garments before it's cut and sewn for the harnesses. So that
and that's the part that I think a lot of people don't understand. They're like, well, Why does it say that on it? It's a treatment that's put on it ahead of time. Because
At
your
the factory.
safety system is one of those products that you're not going to wash it all the time.
That's right.
You're not going to spray it all the time. So for it to already have it on it, it's just an added bonus in
It's
general.
a no-brainer. I mean,
And also, I don't know if you know, Real Tree socks that have the ElimiShield badge
Yeah.
on it, they're done the same way.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Now, those are made by Carolina Hosiery
Yeah,
right here in
yeah,
Burlington.
yeah.
Carson Curry, you probably know from the industry, his family owns Carolina Hosiery, and we send it to them in 55-gallon drums, 4 or 5 pallets at a time. They treat not only the Real Tree socks, but also the several other brands, even like Top Flight Golf socks have
Well,
the
I
ElimiShield in
mean,
it.
why not? Like the sport, any sports.
Yeah.
Because so
And how I sold it to them, I got a funny story. So we go into their conference room. I'm speaking with Carson's dad and his brother Ernie. And I had been to my hunt camp for 4 days, and we didn't have a shower there. I wore the same pair of socks. I took a pair of their socks, treated them, and wore the same pair of socks in muck boots for 4 days. And I put them in a Ziploc bag
And gave him a challenge.
and zipped it up. I took a clean pair of socks and simply just wet them in just tap water and sealed them up. And I put them in the bed of my truck for a month. Just the clean tap water would make you throw up because of the bacteria and everything that had formed. Like, I mean, you've smelled sour clothing before.
Oh, yeah.
And I labeled them. And we went in the conference room, and I had them to smell that what was clean pair, just wet, but, bad. And I thought Ernie was going to throw up. And I said, now, here's another one. He said, I ain't smelling it. I'm not smelling it. I said, do it. And nothing, no smell. And I said, now, you can believe me or not, but I wore that pair of socks for 4 days.
we converted a lot of people with the spray. I called him MacGyver earlier. He comes up with some out of this world ideas. He came up with a shrimp spray. And we were at ATA, and he had taken some shrimp and put it in a spray bottle with water for like a month. And it was rancid. I mean,
was so
have you
much
seen
fun.
the videos where the guys are opening the round can of fish?
Yeah, surströmming.
Yeah. Like, it makes me want to throw up
It will
just
make you
watching
vomit.
it.
Yeah.
So close to that.
Yeah.
And we would get people in there, the guy, we use sync control, let's do it. Come here a minute. He would take it, spray it on a paper towel, and they'd get about right there, and just, all the color in their face would go away. And then he'd take the spray, and he'd spray it on there, and wait a couple minutes and put it up under their nose, and they're like, oh my God, where can I find this stuff? And I'm sitting there the whole time, I'm like, man, after you sit at about the second day of the shrimp test,
You're like, get this bottle out of here.
I'm like, all right, Tommy, like,
We get it, man.
we gotta find something else here.
I just thought of a new application because I have left shrimp in my cooler before fishing, and then just spray the
Well,
inside
if
of
you
your
go,
cooler out, man.
if you look in the marketplace, there's a product called Citrus Safe Cooler Cleaner.
Oh,
Yes.
there you go.
I have some.
And it works
It
too.
absolutely does.
About time you lose power and you forget about all that deer meat in there, and you got to grab it out, and it's like mashed potatoes, and it's just
Yeah.
Get that stuff, spray it in there, close the door, let it sit for about a minute, open it back up, and you can stick your head all the way in there and get it clean.
I have a giant Yeti cooler that is kind of a
No, it's not
catch-all.
Grizzly Coolers.
Well,
Grizzly Cooler.
I'm just saying, this was before. This is just
Edit.
There's no. I'm the editor. I do what I want. But anyway, this thing I'd put. I don't know, for a cookout. Left it out in the summer and cleaned it with that citrus safe stuff, and it killed it. I mean, it smells brand new.
Dude, what was it we put in that cooler outside for like 3 months? Wasn't it like a Boston butt or something?
Yeah, it was pork,
Yeah.
uncooked pork.
Yeah, and you open it up, and it's
I
just,
put it.
Oh
I
my
put it.
gosh.
I put it
Oh,
outside.
yeah, yeah.
I put it outside of our building.
yeah.
In
a metal cooler.
In a Grizzly Cooler.
You open it up. And
I've been in racing for a long time.
maggots and all kinds of stuff.
there
And you
was.
couldn't even get close to it. Just
Oh, my
put about
God.
4 or 5 sprays in there, close it for about
Now
a
that's
minute.
not. I want to clear things up. That's not the same thing that's in the ElimiShield
No,
Hunt
right,
spray.
right.
Okay. That will do some of that, but it's not. It don't have some of the ingredients that
It's
it
a different
takes to kill
formulation.
that kind of smell.
So that test you did. So I had somebody approach me at ATA last year. They did that same test, but they did it in a different way. They had something in there that smelled, and then he sprayed into the cup and said, "Now smell it." And he's like, "It's completely gone." And I smelled it, and I went, "So do you have one that's not a cover scent?" And he just kind of looked at me. I said, I don't want to smell a cover scent." He went, "Well, I mean, huh?" And I was like, "Do you have one that is not a cover scent, that's a scent killer that you can spray in there?" He did the same thing, and you could smell it. And his face was like just in straight shock, and I was like, "Thank you." And
Drop the mic.
I was like,
Yep.
because all I could smell was the cover scent. Like it wasn't doing anything.
Right.
You could just smell the cover scent. And I was
Masking
like,
it.
No,
It's
our
not doing
philosophy
anything.
is we want to destroy the odor, not cover it up.
right. And I wanted to be like, have you ever heard of ElimiShield? But I didn't say it.
Sure.
I'm not
We
like
have to be
we always,
respectful, yeah.
we always use the analogy with the way our stuff works. If you see a nest of spider eggs, are you going to wait and let it hatch and then try and take care of that problem? Or are you going to take care of the problem at the root of the problem?
right.
Same thing.
So how in the world did you figure out how to do like the hospital thing and stuff like that? I mean,
Partners. I told you I'm the dumbest one in the room, man.
that is amazing.
I've been blessed with forming relationships that, and I guess my aptitude and what I love to do more than anything is see a problem, solve a problem. And just sitting around the campfire at hunt camp is how we came up with that. Literally.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see you guys just spitballing ideas, and then it just snowballs. Like we were just the golf or basketball or whatever it might be.
Right.
Any locker room, any.
I had a set of hockey pads when I was a kid that I wish I had the stuff because
Well,
they
I
could
guarantee
walk
it
on
was
their own.
horrible.
We
Oh, yeah.
have and continue to treat the entire locker rooms at all of UNC's sports locker rooms,
glad it's
football,
UNC.
basketball.
Yeah.
We go in with electrostatic sprayers and spray the core technology throughout the entire rooms to prevent odor in those areas, and they're amazed.
Yeah.
The only problem is they don't want to pay for it. They like
Imagine
they
that.
want you to pay them so they can.
Help you.
Well, they want us to pay them so that they can pay for the best athletes
Right.
these days.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
but I
Which
mean,
is a whole nother.
no, yeah. So the clinical division was born. From,
Chuck's like, whatever, I'm just going to do it anyway.
I'm telling you.
I'm glad he's in the liquor drinking.
It was born. It was born from a conversation around a campfire at hunt camp.
That's awesome.
We got to change our conversations at hunt camp. 'Cause they're never this productive.
It's because you won't do anything with the idea, Chuck.
I know. All I want to talk about is where you going.
We've.
Where you going in the morning?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a phenomenal product, which you know that. I mean, I praise it all the time. It's amazing to me to see how many people truly believe in it now
Right.
that I'm selling it.
We have, kind of given up on trying to market it to people. We're just We're going to put it out there, continue to try to get the word out, but people have just got to use it for themselves. And I think I can't think of another company or product that's out there that we can tell you how to test it for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now they're just spray and pray and hope that their trophy comes in or their whatever comes in and that they're successful. But with this, you can literally test it in your one armpit, not the other.
I was in a store the other day getting some stuff for West Virginia. There was a guy walking out with some body wash and some spray, and the brand's irrelevant. But I just said, "Hey man, just out of curiosity, why do you use that particular stuff?" He said, "Killed the biggest deer I've ever killed with this stuff." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Tell me about it." And he was like, "Man, it was the nicest redneck blind you've ever seen." I said, "Okay." He said, "Man, it was a sweet 230-yard shot, too." I'm sitting there thinking, I was expecting him to say, "Man, this 150, 160.
15
walked
yards.
into 15 yards, and the wind was wrong, and I double lunged him." And, okay. And we've always said, full money back guarantee. We've never had to honor that.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't in New York Minute. I mean, no questions asked. But we never have.
I can see that guy taking a big old drag off a big Marlboro Red after that, too.
Yeah, that's like the guys at ATA. I drink I smoke Marlboros and drink Mountain Dews in the stand. I kill every year. I don't need that stuff. And rock on, Daddy.
Yep,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'll be 100% transparent and honest with you guys. I'm kind of like Brandon, I guess, and some
Don't put that on me.
I'm not going to put that on Brandon, but I've never actually used any product at all, period. And then Jason brought it up and brought it to me, and I have been the core in this. Mm-hmm. And
a lot of people just like the challenge of just the pure doing as little as possible other than your woodsmanship.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that. Like you look at public land hunters,
That's us.
Me at 48 years old with a middle-aged gut and, starting to get a little bit lazy, I'm not hiking 4 miles in somewhere where I don't know where I'm going and I don't know the deer population to be in a stand that's the size of a quarter for sun up to sundown. I'm not
Speaking
doing
my
that.
game, baby.
I'm not doing that.
This was created for the lazy hunter. There's no question about that.
I want a dump truck load of corn at about 20 yards. I want about a triple wide reclining, lounger. Mm-hmm. And really, if I could get my compound bow at full draw and just set it here, so all I had to do was just
hit the trigger.
I'd be in.
Ain't nothing wrong with that either.
There's not.
But the point is, some people just like the challenge of how difficult it is. I just saw a guy he was over the moon about this deer he shot on public land in a flannel jacket and blue jeans, and he was like, "I wanted to hunt the way my grandfather used to."
Yeah.
Totally get it. Yeah. Okay, I'm not.
Oh, that's Chuck.
I'm not. I'm not.
He wears 17 different camos, and
well, he ain't afraid to spend money on his camo because he's wearing Sitka.
Yeah,
so he stays warm.
Bought it on sale. I bought it on sale.
Oh, did you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so is that really like Sitka's? Did you get that from Timu?
No, I think it come off of what is it? Not Black O's. Camo Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But where I was headed with all that though is this has just been really eye opening. When you tie all the other stuff in with it that you've been talking about, all the other divisions that your company works with, but it all they tie together. Mm-hmm. And this is a result of that.
Right.
And
that's, the resources from that is what helped us develop
exactly.
this.
That's what. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, and then on top of it, your passion. That's the other part of it is your passion led you in that direction.
No question.
100%. And to me, if it's your passion, you're going to give it full force no matter what. Mm-hmm. And I love the product. I think it's amazing. I'm a huge believer in it.
Yep. I have it at my farm.
Yeah.
I wear
Ready
it
to roll.
360. The core I wear 365,
Mm-hmm.
7 days a week. As soon as I'm out of the shower, if I can reach it, it's on me. I've been self-conscious of body odor since I was 13 years old. Never forget the first experience I had with body odor. I didn't know what deodorant was. Riding in a 1981 conversion van with 14 people going to Disney World.
I was really hoping
And-
this was going to be a story involving a girl, but go ahead.
That's right. I thought he was
Well,
going.
I was really hoping for this one 'cause I hadn't heard
It
this
was,
one yet.
well, no, it was just there was a girl in the van, and I could not believe how bad I smelled. And I've been self-conscious about body odor ever since that day.
That's childhood
So-
trauma.
It was
That's what that'll do.
PTSD for sure. But now, like I said, I can work all day, sweat, and I do not have body odor ever.
Well, the time that I did use the core body foam, going back to what you said, it was 2 mile hike in, 2 mile hike out, and this was like blazing hot. So
All right,
Yeah.
so I do have a question, following up on what you're saying. So, need to use this? Can I, like the night before if I take a shower? Is that
Yes.
okay?
Still got that adheres to your skin until your
Okay.
skin exfoliates.
Okay.
So it's good until then. Now, that's what's really cool about that product also is because we're always exfoliating. So when you're walking to the stand, you're shedding skin. Well, with that, it's adhered to that skin. As long as that skin was clean, it's adhered to that skin and created pretty much an inhabitable world for odor to survive.
Right.
So if you think about bumping up against brush if you're hiking in,
Right.
Correct.
that's where a lot of people
If
get
you're
busted.
leaving skin cells,
Yep.
if you're leaving skin cells with this, you're not leaving that odor
Right.
that goes along with that.
Put
So
up a trail camera in bear country without using it, and then put up a trail camera while using it. And I'll tell you right now which one's going to get tore down
Yep.
first.
Yep.
I mean, no doubt about it.
Yep. That makes sense. 'Cause
that's why with where we hunt and in Virginia and West Virginia is so mountainous. If you try to go and play the wind
Good
in
luck.
the mountains,
Yeah,
Good luck.
yeah, exactly.
you're wasting your time.
yeah.
You're going to be up and down.
Yep.
And it's just not possible to play the wind in mountainous terrain.
Fully agree.
So you you got the
Did you hear
thermals.
that, Chuck?
No, it's the truth.
You got the thermals in the morning, and the wind is going to change throughout the day depending on how it's coming through the valleys and whatnot.
Yep.
So it's impossible. And we like to sit all day in November. So when we go in, we're there until dark.
Yep.
I'm not going to get out and climb cliffs and hike over mountains to get a right wind. It's impossible. And when I see, deer coming in from every direction, that's another thing I don't understand about playing the wind. How are you positive you know which direction that deer is going to come from?
You don't know?
It happens. I mean, I've been so surprised many times that I've never had a deer come over from my right shoulder before in this spot. It's not easy to come in from that direction, but that's the way the wind's blowing, and they came in from that way.
Right.
So that's why I hear that. Well, you just got to play the wind, and I agree with that in places like
When you
Kansas,
can.
in
When you can
Kansas
make
and
it-
Ohio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you-
advantageous. It's another tool. It's another thing you need to pay
Yeah.
attention
That's
to.
right.
It's not a guarantee.
No,
But
it's not.
it's
We,
not.
we were elk hunting a few weeks ago. Very first night, I'm calling. There's 2 hunters. We talked about this. I had elk come in behind me. And the wind was. I mean, I had the wind, but to your point, you don't know where
You
they're
don't
going to
know.
come from.
Right.
You don't know where they're going to come
Right.
from.
And
So,
you never
like
know.
I said, when I park my tail in the stand, that's where I'm going to be, whether the wind's coming that way or not. And knock on wood, I can't think of a time that I've hunted in the last 4 or 5 years where I didn't see deer. I didn't see my shooter or my target, or I still had deer all around me and bear, coyotes. And I've been winded, believe me. I was very surprised. I'm like, God, man, did I miss a spot? So it happens.
So
our idea, I just want to give you about another few minutes
Yeah.
to be able to get that shot off.
That's the way I look at it too. You mentioned
right.
it's just a tool
It's
to add
another
on
tool.
to it.
Yeah.
And it's also, in my opinion, the blue collar brand because not everybody gets to go and spend thousands of dollars on food plots and hunt. You guys and us, we get to hunt 365 days if we want to because we're planting food plots, we're working, we're cutting trails, we're doing all the things all season. Not everybody and very few people get to do that.
Yeah.
Well,
What about the guys that get to go that only get to go on the weekends around kids' football games or
That's right.
they might only get 6 sits a year. That's who I want using my product because that's going to make their experience
Give
better.
them a little bit of an edge.
and they're scheduling it 3 months in advance. They don't know which way the wind is blowing. In
or the
3
weather
months.
or whatever.
Exactly.
That's
They're just
right.
doing it.
So guess what? When their day's off and they're supposed to go hunting, we want them to go in the woods and have an opportunity to hunt, regardless of which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's what ElimiShield was
we
created
want the hunters that miss, as much as they hit. Like we want what doesn't resonate with consumers is, and you watch it on TV, it drives me crazy. The professional hunter will get the phone call, hey, if you drive all night, I've got this 170, I've got a pattern, drive up here with your cameraman. They drive through the night and they get in a stand they didn't hang over a food plot that they didn't, work the rear end off with a steel rake and a four-wheeler, chasing a deer they have no history with on property that they did not, have to spend 3 years acquiring, and they shoot this deer and then it's look at me. Well, I mean, good for you. I wish I had it like that.
Yep.
But the reality of the overwhelming majority of people that hunt is exactly what Tommy just said. And I'm a prime example of that. I've got the season in North Carolina has been here like 6-7 weeks now, and I've been once in North Carolina, and then I had a day and a half in Virginia, and I'm just busy. I would love to be able to go more, but I'm busy.
Yep.
And so the times that I do carve out that I want to go, I want to have everything in my favor. And and my wife, she gets it now. If I'm gonna go hunt near the house, it doesn't matter if I take a shower in the morning. I take another one before I go out. I look like a daggum. A glazed donut. I'm putting so much core body foam on. I let it dry. I head out and have great experience, and it makes me want to go again. Killing to me is not everything. Getting away is what I want. Like everybody talks about the trophy. To me, the trophy is experience. It's not what I do or don't drag out.
That's right.
And I need
But you also want encounters.
Yeah,
And
I want
you want to
entertainment.
see some does come
Yeah, I
in.
wanna be
You wanna
entertained,
see
right.
you want to see that spike or that 4-pointer, and hopefully your target comes in. But
Or else you just sit on the porch. Like we go hunting
right.
to go see animals and,
Yeah,
and
that's
enjoy
true.
the time. But it's not killing.
Yeah, until the bear walks in,
Yeah.
and then everything changes. Then it's like Vietnam.